Welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander with Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from the Bona Training, live
Rob.
from Toronto. Hey, Wayne, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. I thought we would talk a little bit about networking today.
Okay,
All
I
right?
like that.
You
Yeah,
good? Okay.
yeah, I'm really good with that.
All right.
But before we get going,
Uh-huh.
I'm doing a 2-day up here in Toronto
Okay.
and had a question during adhesives today.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was talking about doing skip troweling, glue nail assist.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me if he could skip down a couple of trowel notches to save a little adhesives.
Save some money.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask my buddy.
Hmm.
I'm going to ask Wayne. This is a perfect question for you.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, let's see. Uh, I'm often asked, and sometimes it comes across, we get asked, if I'm going to nail the floor anyhow, do I have to use the same size notch trowel, or can I go down a size or two and save money? Okay, that's what you're getting at. So here's a
Yes.
dealio. I think on an engineer, it's more palatable on an engineered floor. But when you get into the wide, like a solid floor, some of those have the curves on the back, and some of them are deep curves on the back of the boards. And when you go to a smaller trowel, you can it cannot get up into the voids and reach into the curves and everything like you'd want them to, right? Make sense?
Yes.
So when people ask me that, and understanding that they want to save some money, that's the idea that okay, I mean they don't want to full trowel and nail because they want to save money on the job, which obviously that's the optimum, full troweling and nailing. But if they want to save money and not, I'd rather than have them drop down to a smaller notch trowel, is maybe skip trowel, like every 8 inches or so, and go with a quarter-inch notch or a wider notch, so you can make sure you get up into all the recesses of that board. Does that make sense? So you can still save some money by going over every 8 inches or so, and stay on your nailing schedule. But by that way, you're making sure you're getting adhesive up into the board, if that makes sense.
So you would use the same trowel you would use if you were going full trowel.
Yep. Like let's say
Okay.
let's say I wasn't going to nail the floor at all, and I was going to use the 1250 trowel or whatever, because so say it's a 5 inch or 6 inch wide plank board, or you maybe use a 1500 trowel. Use the same trowel, but just skip trowel every 8 inches or so, and you can trowel that out. You can trowel that out pretty quick when you're doing that. I'd rather that than now if it's an engineered floor where it's flat on the bottom, like you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
could probably drop down and size it in the trowel without any problem for sure. So okay,
Okay. Yeah.
all
Excellent.
right,
Perfect.
because you're not at that point, you're not worried about sound control. Just thinking it through because you're nailing also, so it kind of defeats the purpose of that. So yeah, absolutely, you could do that. All right.
So it's those stress relief that's on the back of the boards, those stress relief voids. That's why you would use full trowel to get that. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, a
Yep.
lot of them you got the deep curves in the back of the boards and what have you.
Yes.
Yep, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I thought,
Wow.
is
Wait
there?
a minute. I'm going to give myself a bell. Exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah. There
Oh,
you
there
go.
we go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, let's talk about networking. Would you say that you are an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm definitely an extrovert.
You are. What
I
would you
think
say?
I think I'm an extrovert.
Yeah, I would agree with
Yeah.
that with you. What would you say that I am?
Well, I know you would think you're an introvert,
Hmm.
but you're an extrovert too.
Oh, I'm absolutely not an extrovert.
Yeah, you think you're not,
No,
but you are. Yeah,
I think I'm an ambivert. I think that's a word.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, at work I'm an extrovert, I think, but in my true nature, when I'm by myself or in my not working world, I'm definitely an introvert. I don't like to.
Yes.
I don't talk a lot.
I
I
know you
don't.
don't like people. You don't want to meet new
Well,
people.
it's not that.
Yeah.
But I think just
Somebody
that's
says,
my
"Hey,
nature.
how they biting today?" You're not even going to answer them. You're just going to look the other way. I get it.
No. Well, that's a bad
I'm not
example.
talking to you.
That
I'm not
might.
talking to you. Right.
Yeah. All right. Reason I asked that. I think we're talking about networking, and as an introvert, for me especially too. I remember going back as a younger contractor. Um, I didn't. I was not one to like talk in a crowd, and not to reach out to people, or and also I was of the mindset that my work did the talking. You know what I mean? I didn't
Yes.
have that was just the way it was. And I was quiet. You kept to yourself and what have you. But it's a kind of a different world now, where everybody seems to be their own advocate. And just in general, I think the how important it is to network for a lot of different reasons. Um, and I'll tell you one that I just heard about recently. And I thought, that's really smart. A foreign contractor that I know was friends with, and he joined a kind of a small business association or what have you. And there's different, it could be a tile guy in there, it could be a painter, it could also just be like a guy that owns a Subway store or whatever. Just all kind of just small professional business people. And he got to talking with one about how much his rent was for his shop. And man, the landlord raised it again, and they're paying all this money for rent. And the other guy was kind of saying the same thing, totally unrelated. The guy was a painter, and he started saying, "You know what? Let's look at my shop and your shop. Does it make sense to combine them and split the rent on this?" And it worked out fantastic for both of them. So just through networking, it opens a lot of doors. That if you're closed off and you're by yourself and what have you, I also don't think you're as open to ideas as much if you don't. So I think that's one example of you know of uh, of networking that I think really kind of pays off.
Absolutely. One of the things that I talked to, and it was funny when you said, "Hey, let's do a show on networking." I usually start the school, my opening monologue type thing and what we talk about when we're starting everything. And one of the things that I also say to everybody is, hey, you're going to learn a lot from the Bona people here as instructors. I said, but you're really going to learn a lot from each other too. I go, the big thing about these schools is we got 2 days to network. And it's amazing what I've seen guys do. I was here about a month ago, and we did a RICO class and talk about networking. Two guys about a couple of towns away from each other, so they're pretty close,
Hmm.
and they were both talking about the power scrubber, and that was part of the RICO class was you know talking about power scrubbers. And the reason I'm thinking of this story is what you just said, how the guy said, hey, why don't we combine and
Hmm.
share a building? Well, that's what these two guys, two of these companies, they know each other, they're kind of buddies and everything. And he goes, why don't we go halves on a power scrubber?
Hmm.
We're not going to use it every single day, but I sure would like one. The other guy said the same thing. I would like one too. And they ended up buying one together.
Yeah.
So all through just networking, coming to the school, talking to each other. And it is amazing too. I'll get a lot of guys who come in. I got 3 guys on in this school alone, never sanded a floor in their life, but they're installers. So they want to learn, you know, the other side of the business. They want
Yeah.
to learn how to sand. But they had 2 guys talking with another 2 guys who are like, hey, I hate installing. Give me your card. And we see that all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes. Yeah. That's a
And
great example.
everybody starts feeding each other work,
Hmm.
and it's just good for everybody because now
Yeah.
the guy, you've been with him for a couple of days, it's a little bit more than maybe meeting somebody at a distributor and talking and saying hi. Here, you get 2 or 3 days that you're spending with somebody, and we see. I mean, we see it all the time. They come to the school, and come in as strangers, and they leave as buddies, and
Yep.
start really helping each other a lot. So, another big part of these bonus schools is the networking that just happens, and it just happens so naturally,
Yep.
so organic. It's perfect.
Yep. Look at you using the word organic.
Look at
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Huh? Look
Huh.
at
That's pretty
that.
good stuff. We have a friend whose daughter is a wedding photographer, and she networks with florists and different venues and caterers, and it's an instant referral pipeline. So I just think that back in the old days where I was more closed off and what have you, we just kind of that mentality. I take care of myself and I just do my own thing, whatever, without reaching out. I just don't know if it's the smart thing to do, especially now. And I'm going to talk about the NWFA and the Wood Floor Business Magazine a little bit later on too. But man, for free or cheap advice and mentoring, we're experienced owners. Network becomes like informal advisors who've already made the mistakes that you're about to make. So I think I mean, we've seen that with so many. Chris Izza has been really good well, I'll tell you a story about Chris Izza. I don't think you mind me sharing this. There's a good flooring contractor I know very well. I'm friends with in Nashville, Mike Betts with All American Hardwood, and he had a pair of boxing gloves from Muhammad Ali, and he noticed that Chris, just the floor guy, over the years they've been exchanging information, talking about what we do on different jobs and how you would handle a certain situation, whatever. And Mike gave him the boxing gloves that were at the time they were very very expensive boxing gloves when he bought them, and you know what, I know he would like these, and so that's kind of a nice little thing there. But you look at Josh Hansman and Matt Garcia. We've had both these guys on here that you see them networking back and forth with each other, networking with other people. Josh did a great thing where he brought in a distributor and all the flooring contractors in the area and other businesses and had a class. So it just, man, what a great inexpensive way to get your name out there and to build your business and your brand. So I just think that, for visibility and credibility, doing events like this is, you think these things are like extracurricular things that, I don't have time for doing these things and what have you, but they pay off and they pay off in a really, really big way. And especially when it comes to being like a mentor. I mean, you could spend thousands in consulting fees and you could do months and years of trial and error or reaching out to different people. Matt Garcia had a thing on how he pays his employees. I thought was really super interesting. He's kind of changing the game with some of the stuff he's doing. So I just think it's so important now to not only that, Rob, running a business is hard work, and not many people can relate to how hard that is to run a business. I've said before, I don't think your friends realize how hard it is. I don't think sometimes spouses and whatever may not realize how hard it is. And sometimes your employees don't realize how hard it is, how much pressure is on you, because you got to be the whip all the time. You got to keep everything going for everybody. You got to be the coach, the mentor, the psychologist, the guy who gives the pep talks, the guy that puts the hammer down, the guy that keeps the schedule, the guy that pays the bills, the guy that does the bidding. In many cases, you wear so many hats and you can get worn down years after years. So just for moral support, hey man, I know what you're going through. To talk to someone that gets it, and that's why another reason why I'm such a big fan of the NWFA and going to the conventions and to get around. It's good for your soul just to be around other like-minded guys. It just charges your batteries. We talk
Mm.
about the conventions.
And so many
Um,
people who do that make it look so easy. And
yeah,
and I mean, a lot of the guys that we know who do that, you don't hear them complaining. Uh, They just get it done.
Yep.
Okay. And sometimes I think maybe the guys working for them and everything are like, oh, anybody could do that.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you sure about that?
Hmm.
Are you really sure about that? I used to think that of my family business. I'm like, oh man, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
Hell no. The easy part was actually just running the machines,
Yep.
pull and finish. That was the easy part. The hard part was the juggling.
Yep. Yep.
You
No,
know,
no.
you said about that. This networking thing, it's amazing what it's turned into because, going back to my family roots and everything, we didn't talk to anybody. And if you talk to my dad and uncle, they were like, do not tell anybody
Yep.
what we're doing, how much we're doing, what we're charging, how we do it. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, everything was just a giant
Secret.
secret.
Yeah.
And now you look at things today, man, people can't wait to mentor somebody or help somebody out or, give assistance when they need it on jobs or, at least how to do it or something. It's
Yeah.
crazy how
Yep.
that has complete. I mean, I think back to when, I was working when I was a kid. Uh, Just the thought of another company calling and, saying, "Hey, can you help me out?" But I say that, and there was a time that one of our biggest competitors, another bowling alley guy, Sander, in Massachusetts, who called my dad and said, my wife is dying of cancer. And it was right in the middle of the summer. And he said, my wife is dying of cancer and I could really use some help. And I think that was the only, and, I mean, it was pretty rough. His wife is dying of cancer and he can't keep his crews going. And, he's trying to juggle. So my dad spun me and a couple of guys off onto his crew to keep his stuff going. So,
Yeah.
yeah, even though it was like never talk, never do anything.
Mhm.
When that guy did reach out to the family, that we did end up helping him.
So his wife is dying of cancer, and your dad put you on one of his jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, your
just
dad pulled no punches, man.
just to make sure that right. Yep. He put me and another guy on that guy's crew, and we were kind of running his crew.
Well,
Uh, yeah, and of course, we all did things a little bit differently, and
hmm.
it didn't go over very well with the other guys, but
Yeah.
we all ended up
Yeah.
getting along. I
Good.
do remember one time when I was working for that guy running his crew, we had to do there was a sub base in Groton, Connecticut that we had to go into a bowling alley. And as we're going through the guard shack, we got to show our licenses. Well, two guys on his crew
Yeah.
couldn't get in. They lost their license to DUIs, DWIs, and they could not get on the base because they didn't have a license.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it before when I was working at Lawrence Livermore Lab. Half our crew could not get in the government job. You used to work with guys every day, and you go, yeah, we want this new job and everything. And all of a sudden, like, no, I can't work here. And where's so and so? You couldn't work here. What kind of crowd was I working with? Uh, I,
Degenerates.
I've read that for small businesses that do under $5 million, consistent networking beats almost any paid advertising channel in both ROI and long-term stability. So they say treat relationships as your most valuable asset because they usually are. I think that is pretty powerful stuff and tells you how important it is to actually spend time doing this kind of stuff. And there's a couple different types of networking. There's online networking, and then there's in-person networking. And there's, certainly advantages and disadvantages to both. And so kind of remember that as well. Um, I
You
think
know,
that,
you were talking about Josh Hansman in that school that we
yeah,
did for him, and he brought in um, competitors.
yeah,
He brought in guys that were local guys to him, and a couple of distributors. So he he made no bones about it. I mean, there was like, there's plenty for everybody kind of an attitude. And I just did a school like that last week. I did a 2-day school in Pittsburgh, and it was a sport guy that I used to work with when I was doing sport. Brett Kolosky and Rudy Kolosky, his dad, Wood Floor Designs, just outside of Pittsburgh. And what a beautiful training center he put in his shop, because he
wow,
does sport and he does residential, does the commercial. He's a pretty good sized outfit. But man, I mean, his training center is probably the same size as our training center or our old training center in Palatine, and a
yeah,
beautiful classroom and everything. So, and he did the same thing. Um, he had a distributor. He had a couple of different companies there, and it was just a huge networking event for
nice.
everybody. So
That says a lot. The only other person I've ever known do that is John with the flooring contractor down there in Chattanooga, John Prater.
John
Prater's
Prater,
Floors.
yes,
Yeah, he
yep.
brings in all his
Oh,
competitors and just is here's guys, here's what we're doing. Here's how we do it. Welcome to any input you guys want, but just want to let you see what we're doing. It says a lot about the character and confidence and quality of a person that does that. So hats off to those guys.
we had done some big schools with John Prater and at Prater's. We had done. I
Mhm.
mean, I remember one sports school we did. We had people coming in from all over the country
Wow.
into Chattanooga, and doing some sports schools,
Hmm.
and just amazing. Yeah. And he just wanted to bring in everybody. He was the classic. You know what I'm going to say? Rising tide. You know,
Yeah, that's
you
all
know the
boats.
deal. Well, it
Yep.
brings them all up.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's damn right.
And that was it. I mean, the
Hmm.
more, graphics he could teach people, the more graphics people were doing on sport
Well,
floors.
look what tends to happen to people like that. Where they're not small and they're not closed off and what have you. They just seem to grow exponentially with these relationships. And part of the reason I believe is why uh, they say that 80% of your deepest, most profitable relationships still come from face to face. As much as online is still, a big part of people's lives, there's something about being in a room with somebody, reading body language, sitting there having a drink with somebody, and just sharing that type of communication is still more powerful than anything that's out there. So I talked about the NWFA. I give Wood Floor Business Magazine a big nod too. I mean, Kim and them do great articles. So sharing that way, reaching out and say, look, I'm doing a pretty cool project. I think they would embrace that. I know that they would. I've seen them do it so many times. Um, is a great way of networking. And also, the Wood Floor Business Magazine came out, and the 2026 NWFA Flooring Industry Guide. And they had some interesting information out here. I'll see if I can find a few of them here. 40 plus new exhibitors, 190 returning exhibitors. So I just, you know, 60% of the people attending are the decision makers at the job. You think it's important to go to an event like that? I think it's wildly important.
Are you
Um,
mocking me? Is that what you're doing right now? Are you
well,
mocking me?
I know you don't get to go, and webinars, all the webinars they do,
Wait a
there's
minite.
so much.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute. Wait a minute. We've got big news.
yeah,
I just got the nod.
you're going?
I am going.
Really? Why?
Yes.
I mean, I see why. I've always seen why. But why this year that they finally did the right thing?
Because as much as I lean can nail me for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
it was Eileen. She kept pushing and pushing and pushing and said, we have to have Rob there. So
Wow. Wow.
on the floor from the showroom floor, that is going to be awesome.
Wow. God, I'm thrilled that you're going to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. As
Yeah.
vicious as
So here
Eileen
it comes.
has been to you.
Is
Uh,
as brutal as Eileen has been to me. Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
She was the one. So
Wow.
I think she has a soft spot for me. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Either that or
So,
Pauline, Pauline might have said to her, you got to get him away from me for a couple of days.
see, it's the networking between her and Eileen, or her and Pauline, one of those leans,
The leans. Yes. The
the
leanies.
Lean sisters,
Yes.
Eileen and Pauline. Um, so anyhow, I thought it'd be something important to talk about. I it's something in the past that we used to, kind of like I say, turn our nose up or think we're too busy to do it. But working this into your schedule, and it might be just somebody at your job that's dedicated to this. Carter Floors Hardwood up in Michigan also does a great job of networking. And here's another thing he does every year that is very impressive. He gives back to this cancer thing. Uh, I apologize, I don't know exactly what it was for, but I seen him wearing a pink outfit, and I assume that's not his daily wear. So I know that's something they give back every year for that, or they do a lot of community stuff. It's important. You get your name out there, and you get recognition. I know that's not why they do that, but man, I believe in karma, and I think it comes back to you tenfold when you do stuff like that.
The other thing about networking, I mean, we're talking about networking, but networking is just another way to make more money without having to do more square footage. That's what it comes down to. We at our Bona convention, they wanted me to do a thing on machines and upkeep of the machines and things like that. So, we had the Bona machine guys in there, Bobby and Kareen, and they're just amazing. And geez, I think at one of the seminars that we did, we probably had close to 300 people there. And I was kind of asking Kareen some different things about the power scrubber. And then a guy asked a question, and then it took off. It was crazy because then we started there was probably 6 or 7 guys who were saying how they used the power scrubber. And then I started hearing guys saying, geez, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about doing that with the power scrubber. Or really, you did that with the power scrubber? Geez, I never thought about going that. And it was just, like I said, it was just guys just finding out what other guys are doing. They all own the same piece of equipment, but what they were doing to, just enhance it and make more money with it. So networking is just, I mean, you can't buy that kind of stuff. We got some big networking coming up, Wayne. We
Okay.
got like this week, I'm doing I got a couple of schools going up here in Toronto. So we got a 2-day school this week in Toronto. If you're around on Thursday, we're going to be doing a Rico class. Definitely stop in. And then on Friday, I'll be doing a sport class. So we got a lot going on up here in Toronto. And then the week after, the Thanksgiving week, if you're down by our Jersey Training Center on Tuesday, we'll be doing a 1-day chroma school. So if anybody wants to stop in, don't worry about it. Come on by. If you're listening and you want to see the chroma again or play with it and meet the new TM there, great kid. You're going to love him. A lot of energy. Uh, Funny kid. I don't know if have you talked to him, meet him yet, but
No, no.
you're going to like him, man. He's a great
Good.
kid. I think he's going to do fantastic.
Good. What's his
Um,
name?
Dante.
Dante. We got a
Yeah,
last name?
Dante Cardone.
Dante Carter. Is he in the mafia?
That's exactly, well, his family's in the concrete business. So I said, wait a
Ah,
minute, your
there
name
you
is
go.
Dante Cardone and you're in the, I go, is your dad in the mob? And he's like, no, I go, well,
No, no, but
yeah,
don't
he's a
joke about
concrete
it.
guy from Queens, you
Yeah.
know? And he just started laughing. He goes, no, 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 no. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute.
Hmm.
I better shut my mouth here. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say too
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
right?
Funny boy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
next Tuesday, if you're around, you want to do some networking, see the Chroma. We're going to be doing a 1 day Chroma school in Jersey. Then, starting in December, we got 3 schools coming up. First week of December, we're doing a Christmas school in our Charlotte training center.
Hmm.
Second week, big time. I think it's probably the first time that we've done this. It's a women's school in Nashville.
This is interesting. This has never been done before, I don't think. It's all women's school. I think it's technically it's women and allies of women, right?
Yes, yeah,
Well, who wouldn't be an
yes.
ally of women?
Yeah, I'm very pro woman, definitely.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and it's going to be a Christmas. It's our Nashville Christmas school, but it's going to be women and allies of women. That's how we had to
Yeah.
say it. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's times
Yeah.
we live in.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be awesome,
I
because we have so many women that come to schools, and I got to kind of drag them up on the panel. And I was talking to Pauline about it one day, and she's like, "That's terrible." She goes, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want you yanking me up there and making me do stuff in front of a bunch of guys. And I was like, yeah, okay. And when she came to the Christmas school last year, I yanked her up on the panel. I was doing the power drive, and I said, one of the things is I tell everybody when I start talking about the power drive is like, man, you could put my wife in one room with a power drive and me in the other room with the regular sanding equipment, drum edge or buffer, and you're not going to be able to tell who did what.
hmm
Actually, you should probably do a better job. I go, my wife could run this. And then I thought, hey, my wife is here. I'm going to go
hmm
get her.
hmm
And I brought her around, and in 5 minutes, she was running the power drive dressed like Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. No, she's the
How's
best. Pauline is
how's
awesome.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she thought this was a great idea. She goes, I
Yeah.
think that this is a really good thing because she said, as a woman, I don't think I would want to be running an edger or something like that in front of a bunch of guys. But she said this could definitely be she thinks this is a great thing. So I'm psyched about it.
But also, it's kind of a nice networking bonding thing for them. But I'll tell you what, there's some women out there, as we both know, that run circles around a lot of guys. They're great crafts people, crafts, crafts people,
Crafts, crafts,
crafts.
craftspeople,
See that? Yeah, craftsmen.
craftspeople.
That can't be a craftsman. Crafts people. Whatever. But they're great.
I bet they wouldn't mind being called a craftsman.
Probably not too. The sentiment is there. They're great at what they do. And there's
Yeah.
some I mean some really outstanding ones that shouldn't surprise anybody. But so I'm really excited about that class. That should be a good class. And these classes in December, if I'm not mistaken, the cost to get in, Rob, is
The cost to get in is a toy. A toy or a cash donation, and we'll go out and buy the toys. For the last 5 years, we've been doing these Christmas schools. I can't believe it's been 5 or 6 years now. We got together with your buddy and our buddy, Frank Coppolino, who does a lot for the Toys for Tots. And, one day I was talking to Frank and I said, we're doing Christmas schools, and I think this would be a great, rather than charging for the school, give us a cash donation or bring a toy. And I've said it 1,000 times on the show. It makes my Christmas. It really does to see just big, rough, tough floor guys who just kill it all year long, and then come to these Christmas schools. And we started them because I go, floor guys never really get a Christmas party, an
Yeah.
office Christmas party. So I said, let's do a school, but also have some fun and some cheer and things like that. But I'll tell you what, Wayne, it makes my Christmas season just seeing these big, rough, tough guys walking in with 3 foot Barbie dolls and stuff like that, with just the biggest smile on their face, and guys just bringing in tons of stuff, and you always get the same thing. Hey, do we have enough? Is there enough? We'll get more. We'll bring more tomorrow. They just can't wait to do it. So and then on the third week, we will be doing that will be my last one, and that will be a third week in New Jersey. Same thing. That's where it all started, in Jersey. So we're always going to do one there, and it's the same thing. Toys for Tots. Um, Eileen, can you come on and just talk about the school in Colorado at the Bona facility, dates and what they're. I don't think they're doing Toys for Tots. I think they're doing a food bank or something.
The Denver Englewood School is the charity is the Food Bank of the Rockies. So in lieu of the registration for that school, we're just asking for a monetary donation. 100% of the donations go direct to the Food Bank of the Rockies. So no money comes to Bona. The link to do your monetary donation is a Food Bank of the Rockies link. And Bona is going to match dollar for dollar for the donations. And then on one of the days, the lunch, we're gonna bring in food and bags to make food bags that get distributed between Colorado and Wyoming.
Awesome. And what date is what week is that?
That is December 16, 17, and 18, I believe.
Okay. Thank you. So I think that's the third week, right? Yeah, that's the third week. Yeah, it's the same time as our Jersey school. Perfect.
Oh, have you know I donated to the Denver Food Bank yesterday. Yep.
You're just a giving guy. Are
I
you
think I
are you
was
going to come to the Nashville Christmas school
I might have someplace I have to be at the same time. What are the dates again?
for Nashville?
Yeah.
Um
Is it the 8th? Hmm. Wait, really? I got it. The
Pauline
19th.
will be there.
Okay.
Eileen will be there. You should bring Judy.
I could be there on the 11th. I got to be in St. Louis on the 9th and 10th.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I wouldn't miss it. So,
Bring Judy.
I would love to bring Judy. I'll see if I can get her down
Yeah,
there.
that would
Yeah.
be great.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay. She'd like to meet everybody and see your bride again.
absolutely.
Okay, Rob. Well, we spent enough time on this. Um, what else you got? Anything
Networking,
else?
baby. That's where it's at. We got a lot. We still got a ton of networking to go for Bona. We still got a bunch of schools that we're doing, so we don't stop, baby.
I'm
We
going to
don't
say,
stop.
I'm going to say this. So networking, some people don't even have to hear this podcast. They're already good at it. They already know it. It's second nature to them. It's part of their personality. Or they're well known and everybody knows them and what have you. You take a guy, Sprigland and everything. I mean, gosh, he's a master at networking, number one. And two, his reputation precedes him everywhere he goes. But for some people, it's not second nature to them. And they have to get outside their comfort zone to do this. I would be one of those guys. I would not be, uh, you know, comfortable in this. I would have to get outside my comfort zone to do this. But it's worth it. It's worth it to get out, reach out, be a mentor to somebody, ask someone to be a mentor to you. Join the NWFA. Oh my gosh, the NWFA is look. If someone was getting into this business and they asked me what's the number one thing I would do, 100% I'd say join the NWFA for all the reasons we talked about on this podcast. I would be nowhere near anywhere I am in my career right now, not for the NWFA. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. So
Absolutely. Hey, I got a question for you. How old are you?
none of your business.
Come on. How old are you?
I don't.
No
I don't.
big deal.
I don't have any.
Eh,
I don't have any hangups about that. I'm 65.
You're 65.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm
we got to think about it.
yeah,
You're
60.
63.
I'm 63. I was born in
Yeah,
62. Yeah, so I'm
yeah, yeah,
63,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
So, are you a member of AARP?
No,
Really?
no, and I never will be.
Why not?
Nah.
Pauline couldn't wait for us to join AARP. I have no idea why. I think she joined 10 years ago.
Yeah,
You can join in your 50s now.
yeah.
Okay. And we get the magazine. I don't use my AARP for anything. You know, you get discounts for the movies and stuff like that. And I
You do?
always forget. Yeah,
Hmm.
you get all sorts of, read the discounts you get, right? With
Yeah.
AARP. But the reason I'm talking about this, you mentioned NWFA. Pauline said to me, you know, she just got the AARP magazine. Guess who's in it?
Who?
Brett Miller, NWFA, did a whole uh, thing on floor care,
No kidding.
how to take care of your floors
I'll
by
be
Brett
darned.
Miller, NWFA.
That's pretty good.
That guy's a freaking rock star. You're an
Yeah, he is.
AARP. You're you've made it.
Yeah.
You are you're in, baby. I
Hmm.
mean, with the older crowd, but
Yeah, yeah. But see, that's
that's
like,
a major publication.
yeah, it's big time. Yeah, it is. Good for him, man. Yeah, get rock star with all 65-year-olds and up. Yeah. Oh. All right. Like David Lee Roth these days. Oh man, it's rough. Rough,
Yeah.
rough, rough.
Well,
Golly. He said go
it's
ahead and jump. I wouldn't have him jump nowadays. He'd be cripple himself.
it's hard sometimes with these guys with the big voices.
Yeah.
You can't keep that. You can't
No.
keep that big voice going. Like
No.
I'll tell you who we saw that he's a great singer, but he doesn't have that big crazy voice is Bob Seger.
Oh, Bob Seger is one of my all-time favorites.
I
Yeah.
mean, we saw him and kind of,
Yeah.
now he looks like Santa Claus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He came out and the white hair and the white beard. I was like, wow.
Hmm.
But when he
Yeah.
started singing, I looked at Pauline and my son. I go, is he lip syncing? I don't think he's lip syncing. I mean,
Hmm.
you know,
Voice is still there.
the voice is amazing, absolutely amazing. But David Lee Roth's voice, those voices are going to be tough
Yeah.
to keep going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where Seeger, Springsteen, those voices there, you could keep that going for a while.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. All right. Well, listen, we're carrying on now. We should end this. And this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.